The Innovators is brought to you by the Jamaica Yellow Pages, Heart Trust NTA, the Jamaica Observer, First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union, and Future Services International. Meet the Innovators, Yannick Page and Gary Matalin. Over the next several weeks, they'll be helping aspiring and struggling entrepreneurs to make more money. Yannick Page launched her first business at age 17 and knows how to start a business on a shoestring budget. She's a certified trainer in entrepreneurship and workforce innovation and is also the founder of the award-winning company, Future Services International. Gary Matalin is the co-founder and director of New Stone Limited. This successful entrepreneur is also the co-founder of KLE Group, owners and operators of Fiction Lounge and Usain Bolt's Tracks and Records. This week, they will be joined by guest innovator Michelle Simone Clark. She is the founder and CEO of the Higher Intelligence Agency Limited, an image management company. Michelle also specializes in event architecture and set design.
Hi, Nick.
Hey.
How are you doing, Tim?
I'm very good, thanks.
Excellent. Well, listen, today we have a very interesting assignment. We're going to meet Chris and Patrick. They're from Belize, and they came to Jamaica, and they opened a tattoo studio. So, very interesting business model. Let's take a look and learn a little more about it.
My name is Patrick Perfeet. I'm the artist at Ink Custom Tattoos here in Barbican Business Center. I was born in Belize City, Belize. I spent most of my life there. I moved around the districts a little bit, but mainly I grew up in Belize City in Belize. I moved here about 2 months ago, specifically to come start the business here in Jamaica.
All of this space for me skin soon done. If you're not done, go get one, go get one. If you're not done, go get some, go get some. When the tattoo need to start feeling.
I've been encouraged to do it from way back. I had friends always telling me, boy, you should do tattoos, you should do tattoos, because you're so talented. Every time somebody asked me to draw something, it was designing a tattoo for them. So I decided to get into it, and once I started, I realized I found my calling. Chris and I, we get along really well. Always joking. We have a history, because we were together in Belize. Him and my older brother, they grew up together, so they were more like brothers, and I was the younger brother that they look out for, right? So we do have a close relation.
Well, when I first moved to Jamaica, I realized the amount of people that had tattoos, as well as in Belize. So I decided to pursue in a business out here to open a tattoo parlor, and I asked Patrick, and a year later he called me and says he's ready to move. So we actually made a move and opened our parlor.
Our biggest challenge is being new in a new country, funding, getting stuff done, getting started, getting it to the real vision that I have in mind. That would be the biggest challenge.
It's interesting. Let's meet Chris and Patrick.
At this moment, I'm very excited to be meeting the Innovators. I know they have a lot of experience, so I'm really looking forward to the advice they're going to give me to help me to adjust from moving from Belize to doing business in Jamaica.
Welcome to Jamaica.
That's right. How long have you been here now?
He's been here 3 years, I'm here 2 months now.
So what are your numbers like?
We've been getting people coming in, but not as much as we want it to be, or our goal that we want it to be for the week.
What's your goal for the week?
25 tattoos a week.
25 tattoos, and right now you're doing what?
10. So we're getting there slowly. In the next 5 years, I want to see my business to where me and Patrick had set our goals, having it run smoothly, getting people in here daily.
You obviously came here with a view to attract a certain clientele. Who are you looking to get into your shop?
My ideal customer would be somebody that knows exactly what they want, or at least has an idea of a type of tattoo, a style of tattoo, stuff like that.
Yes, I would recommend that people come to this place one, the tattoo work is very intricate, detailed. They capture images off of a photograph or anything that you give him to draw and put it on your skin. And it's there forever what you can look at, and it's a work of art.
Your demographic is what? Between 18 and 30? I mean, what is it?
There's no really age.
No age.
Oh, no. You have to know who your target market is, and you have to define who that customer is as closely as possible. Some people like to say, well, everybody's my customer. But right then and there, you know that they are not marketing very well because they haven't even identified who their target market is.
Well, now that you mention it, I have a page on Facebook, and it actually gives you feedback on the people that like your page and so forth. And what I realized is I had a larger percent of women liking the page and viewing the page. And the age group was from 25 to 35, the bulk of it. I always promote the customer, so I believe that alone will make me stand out from the competition.
The reality is tattoos aren't for everybody, yeah? I mean, let's be realistic. So it's going to be important for us to try and single out who the core market is, who the bulk of your clientele is, and speak to those people directly.
Coming up on The Innovators.
As far as I understand with tattoo artists, it has always been a situation where you try to keep your overheads low.
The worst thing that you can do is to start a business with the overheads too high, you're dead already. It's the hardest thing to do. I'm about to give you a tip that you probably have never read in a book and you probably have not seen anywhere. And it's very simple, it's this. When you're in business, you have to get your personal life in order. If you have drama going on in your personal life, it's going to distract you significantly from your number one goal of trying to achieve business success. So if you've got drama, sort it out before you start a business. If you have drama going on now, it will always be a distraction. There will always be chaos. And once you have a chaotic personal life, it usually carries over into the business. So sort it out, fix it up, be peaceful, and you will see some success in whatever you do.
What made you pick up from Belize and come to Jamaica? Is it that Jamaica has a perception of being a place where tattooing is popular? I mean, what was your thinking when you decided to come here?
Not really. I moved to Jamaica because I was married to a Jamaican and she wanted to come back home, so I decided to give it a try. I came here and I looked around and to find a small business I can do, and I figured tattoo was a good business to get into.
What are your overheads like?
The rent is $75,000 per month, and so about $100,000 should cover my monthly expenses.
So let's get this straight. You guys are here because you want to better understand how to do business in Jamaica. How do you reach the target market that you want to get to? You certainly want to make more money.
Yes. Yeah.
All right, so you've given us a little bit of info. I think we have enough to have a little discussion, and we're going to try and figure out a plan. So give us a little while and we'll see you in a short time.
All right, well, the location, that rent, it's amazing. It's beyond comprehension. I don't know. As far as I understand with tattoo artists, it has always been a situation where you try to keep your overheads low and then build on that. It's only when you expand to multiple artists or you have a massive reputation that you would then jump into a space where you have, you know, overheads like real rent and whatever.
You're a collector of tattoos. What do you look for in a tattoo?
I look for focus because tattooing is something that requires a lot of attention. If they lose, focus while they're working on your tattoo, they can make a mess, and so on. So steady hands and focus for me, so therefore I have to meet my tattoo artist. I'm not gonna just call them up on the phone and go, hey, I'm coming in for a tattoo. That's not gonna happen. I have to interview with them first. Also, there is a certain amount of was a hygiene and health issue because blood is spilled. It's So I have to make sure that they are cognizant of, what care has to be taken and that they know what to tell me about how to care the tattoo once I'm leaving their space.
What Sim is saying to me is something that I think they, as business people, need to understand very carefully. In other words, why spend your financial resources, your brain power to put an ad in the paper? You're not going to look at an ad in the paper and say,
no,
let's go get a tattoo. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more personal than that. It's reputational. So I think that social media is a great opportunity for them, but even beyond that, I think they really need to go and develop a database.
I'm really concerned about those overheads, so I want to address that issue right away. I know that the worst thing that you can do is to start a business with the overheads too high, you're dead already. It's like the hardest thing to do. And also, they need some strategic planning, you know, they really do. I didn't get the feeling that they had really put enough into the research. You know, I really didn't get the feeling that they had put enough into identifying exactly what they're going to do and how they're going to compete, and you know,
and who really are the people they're trying to get in at the moment.
That's where
like right off the bat, tattooing is an alternate lifestyle activity, and so therefore the first thing they should be doing is targeting the alternate lifestyle people, because that those are their ready customers, right? And then once they have a good base, because those people's network are also quite broad. Absolutely. Then they can expand through the network, because the network that they build through those alternate lifestyle people would be much broader than if they were to try and get it through the newspaper.
Yeah, it's very important. I mean, for them to set up marketing communications that speak to somebody like me, they're wasting their money and their time, because I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
So I think we have enough, and yeah, let's bring them back in.
To begin with, there are a few concerns that we have. One, I don't think you've spent enough time defining your market, and I think that's very important, because unless you know exactly who your market is, it's going to be very difficult to tailor your product and service to cater to that market. Also, you're not going to know how to communicate to that market. So very important that we understand clearly who it is we're talking to, who we want to come in and get our stuff.
You have to immediately start thinking of not just pushing the primary business, which is tattoos, but seeing what else can be done with that space in terms of, can you do piercings, can you do other, you know, we spoke about
service that can earn money when you're not working.
You got to start thinking marketing. You got to come up with a strategy. All right, you've already identified that a large chunk of the people are return customers. So if that's the case, let's try and get as many return customers as we can. How do we do that? Let's cut the price on your first tattoo. So your first tattoo, I'll do it for free, maybe, or half off, something to that effect. You're gonna have to innovate. You can't just go out there and say, you know what, I'm a tattoo artist, because that doesn't do enough.
So with that said, we're gonna send you off on some assignments, and we really hope that when you come back, you have good news for us.
It's now time for the assignments.
Patrick.
Hi.
Morning. I'm the manager here at the Entrepreneurial Unit. Welcome to Heart. We're gonna talk so I can assist you in working through with your business. Every business will have to be registered. Then before you get registered, you have to do what is called a business name search at the Companies Offices of Jamaica. All right. So it is recommended that you go into the Companies Office and sit with one of their customer service personnel to do that. Another important factor is that you will have to get a TRN, a taxpayer's registration number, for your business.
All right.
So each business has that.
Coming up on The Innovators, Patrick has some shocking news for Yannick and Gary.
Some of the challenges I'm facing are rent. It's hard to find places for good prices that are decent enough that people will come and think is a safe place for their vehicles. Overheads in terms of like light bills, water bills. Sometimes I'm just depressed to know that, boy, I want to improve my business and I don't have the resources, whether financially and mentally sometimes, to deal with the challenges that I have.
Since being on Innovators, I've learned a lot. I learned how to market myself, how to put myself out there so that people can see me. I actually send out BBMs, advertise on Facebook, advertise via calling people, text messages, which I learned from SMS communications, and I got a lot of new customers, well, a lot of new paying customers, so it has helped me a lot. I'd advise everybody who owns a motor vehicle to come to Nitro Auto Services. I am at 86C Waltham Park Road. We have a very exceptional service here. Trust me, you won't regret it.
Said that you're in a partnership.
Yeah.
Right? Have you guys sat down to work out the whole money business in terms of this is what we're collecting, this is what we're doing, we need this input, we need that input, and at the end of the day, this is how we really manage the money affairs?
Actually, we have set a percentage that each one of us will get to, depending on the cost of the tattoo, I will get a certain percentage and he'll get a certain percentage.
And that's signed, sealed, and delivered?
We don't actually have a contract. So,
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important. That is important.
Yeah.
Once you're in business with anybody at all, there has to be equal inputs because you have to strategize, bringing in the money, minimizing the expenses. Everybody has to have some input in all of this. So it is important for you as partners to really define your roles. Let's say you are the creative person, the other partner is the business person. Then you say, okay, you go get the business, you manage the office, I am the artist, and this is what we do. When you look at the whole business operation, you can really, really see what are the financial gains and the contribution of each person. It is for protection of yourselves as well as your families. Finances are critical, and some things that you really need to take into account in the very, very early stages of business is that one of costs. Because in starting up, it's totally different when you're in operation. And one of the strategies that young entrepreneurs or early stage businesses have to do is to minimize overheads. Because at this stage, what will happen, the income that you project will only increase over time.
I was really happy to meet with Ms. Cheryl Stewart here at the VTDI. She really gave me a lot of insights into running a business here in Jamaica. Also, she touched on a few things I did not consider before, like in terms of partnership and that sort of stuff, and separation of duties and having a clear agreement on who needs to do what in the business. It made me think about my present situation, and this may come as a shock to Gary and Unique, but I've made a huge decision regarding the business. And that decision is I've decided to close the business and move back to Belize. Why I decided to leave was not necessarily a business problem or anything, but more of an internal one. So I encourage people, if you're getting into a business, my advice is really plan it. Plan ahead, get everything done, do all your research before you're actually opening the business, because that's what kind of caused the problem, not enough planning in the initial stages.
Don't give up, although the struggle's hard. All when you play the game and you come first without reward. All when you lose the cash but John, all your friends for snake and gone. Just hold on to your faith and climb. Just don't give up.
Returning to Belize is going to be a bittersweet experience, I came here, to make a better life for myself so I could provide to my family. However, I'm returning back to them, which is, the sweet part of it. I get to see them again, even though, I'm not coming back home with, bearing gifts, etc. But, at least I get to see them and be able to readily spend time with them again. See them every day.
Chris and Patrick, a very sad situation. Very, very sorry that this has happened to them. Partnerships are good. You have a number of positives that you can benefit from, in terms of you can pool your funds, pool your experience, you can share responsibility. There are a lot of positives, share networks and so on. But they can also be very challenging in terms of who will share the responsibility, who will have the responsibility, who is going to be that main person. Because many times you'll have disagreements, major disagreements, that happens in everyday life. The issue is, do you have a mechanism in place to deal with that? So my advice to Chris and Patrick, I hope one day maybe you guys can make it work. But if this is really the end and you just cannot make it work, learn from this experience and start again. Don't be afraid to start business again. And finally, for everybody else who wants to, if you're going to get into a partnership, talk to an attorney. It's very important. Put it in writing. Who is to do what? How much money must each person give? What will happen if one person wants to come out? Who will have ownership of the business? How do you deal with the assets of the business? Very important. But it's a stumbling block. That's how business is. Life goes on. So good luck to them in the future.
The boardroom table and chairs were provided by the Stationery and Office Supplies Limited. For people who mean business, Gary's wardrobe was provided by Max Brown Limited. Next time on The Innovators.
Because I have to walk so much and take the bus to carry the load, I got less business. It's so stressful.
She clearly has no appreciation for marketing. She doesn't even have a label, and we need to fix that.
For further information on any of our assignments, please visit us at facebook.com/innovatorstv or email us at innovatorstv@gmail.com. The Innovators was brought to you by the Jamaica Yellow Pages, Heart Trust NTA, the Jamaica Observer, First Heritage Cooperative Credit Union, and Future Services International.